Assalamualaikum friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you all are fine. Friends, in this video we will discuss about all important questions related to poetics. As we know, it is a famous work of Aristotle and he was a Greek philosopher. In this work, Aristotle has discussed different types of poetry, dramatic theory, epic poetry and tragedy. Before starting the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon for latest updates. Let's start the topic. First question is, what was the nickname of Aristotle? Friends, Aristotle was grew up with many nicknames, such as the master, the philosopher. But Aristotle's best known nickname was the Stagirite. As he was born at Stagira, Pope gave him that nickname. So he was best known as Stagirite. Next question is, what was the name of school founded by Aristotle? Friends, the name of the school founded by Aristotle was the Lyceum. It was an Athenian school founded in 335 BC in a grove sacred to Apollo Lysias. Next question is, what is Poetics or what sort of book is Aristotle's Poetics? Friends, Poetics is a critical treatise on literature, especially on the drama and poetry. It is the art of writing poetry, and Aristotle divides this art of poetry into verse drama like comedy, tragedy, style, lyric, and epic poetry. Next question is, what was the purpose of writing poetics? Friends, the purpose of writing poetics is to reply to Plato's attack on poetry and to set aright the nature and function of literature. Thus, this poetics focus on the art of poetry and Aristotle wants to present and explain the fundamental principles of art. Next question is, how does Aristotle define poetry? Friends, Aristotle defines poetry as a kind of imitation. He defines poetry as a mimetic, imitative use of language, rhythm, and the harmony. Next question is, what is the Greek word for imitation or what is the English word for mimesis? Friends, the English word for mimesis is imitation and the Greek word for imitation is mimesis. It is a term used in philosophy and literary criticism, and it also used to describe the process of imitation through which the artist can portray and interpret the world. Next question is, what are the objects of imitation in poetry? Friends, the objects of imitation in poetry are men in action, and these men must be either of a higher or a lower type. Next question is, how does a poet recreate reality? Friends, a poet recreates reality by representing men either as better or worse than in their real life. Next question is, what is the function of the poet? Friends, the function of the poet is not to relate what has happened, but what may happen according to the laws of probability or necessity. Next question is, what are the manners of imitation? Friends, the poet may imitate by speaking in narrative and he may continue speaking through in the same person without any change, and the whole story may be represented in the form of an action on the stage. For example, Aristotle says the medium of imitation is rhythm, language, melody, and different types of poetic expressions. These may be employed separately or together in the same combination. Next question is, what is panegyric? Friends, it is a formal written thing or oral composition praising a person. It is a speech or a piece of writing that praises someone or something very much and doesn't mention anything bad about it. It is often expressed in an exaggerated terms. Next question is, what is Margides? Friends, it is a comic epic by Homer, and Aristotle gives the works of Homer credit for establishing the main lines of both serious and low forms of poetry. Attributing to Homer a lost epic is called Margides. Next question is, To which did Aeschylus give the first place of importance? Friends, Aeschylus gave the first place of importance to dialogue. Next question is, who introduced three characters in tragedy? Sophocles, an ancient Greek tragedian, he introduced three characters in tragedy. Next question is, what is comedy? Friends, comedy is the imitation of man worse than the average in the sense of ridiculous. It is a genre that places characters in an amusing situation for the sake of humor. Next question is, what is tragedy? Friends, tragedy is a representation of an action that is worth serious action, complete in itself and sum of amplitude. Friends, it is a genre of drama based on human suffering, like terrible or sorrowful events that befall a main character. Next question is, what is diction? Friends, diction is the arrangement of the verses. It's a writer or speaker distinctive vocabulary choices and a style of expression in a poem or a story. Next question is, what is thought? Friends, thought is the ability to say what is possible and appropriate in any given circumstances. Next is, what is plot? Plot is the arrangement of the incidents. And friends, plot is what happens in the story, and it is the action of story that drives the narrative forward. Next question is, what is the lifeblood soul of a tragedy? Friends, plot is the lifeblood soul of a tragedy because action is dominant to the weight. Next question is, what should be the plot of a tragedy? The plot of a tragedy should be complete and whole. A plot must be universal in its implication and maintain a theme of balance and resolve. Next question is, what is a beginning? Friends, a beginning is that which does not necessarily come after something else, but something else necessarily comes after it. Friends, it is a point in time or space at which something begins. Next question is, what is a middle? Friends, a middle is that which follows something else and itself followed by something. The middle of something is its center or the point where two ends at the same distance away. Next question is, what is an end? Friends, an end is that which naturally follows something else and is not itself followed by anything. It is a final part of something, especially a period of time, an activity or a story. Next question is, what is a well-constructed plot? Friends, the plot have a beginning, a middle and end is a well-constructed plot. Next question is, what do you mean by unity of plot? The unity of plot means the organic connection of each part. The first essential to creating a good tragedy is that it should maintain a unity of a plot. Next question is, what are the kinds of plot? Friends, according to Aristotle, plots are of two kinds, simple plot and complex plot. The simple plot is a unified construct of necessary and probable actions accompanied by a change of fortune, but the complex plot is accompanied by two other features, reversals or recognition. Next question is, what is a reversal? Friends, reversal is a change from one state of affairs to its opposite. It is a turning point in a drama after which the plot moves steadily to its denouement. Next question is, what is an episodic plot? Friends, an episodic plot is one in which there is neither probability nor necessity in the sequence of its episodes. It is made of a series of chapters or stories linked together by the same character, place or theme, but held apart by their individual plot, purpose and subtext. Next question is, what is Aristotle's view on episodic plots? Friends, according to Aristotle, the episodic plots are the worst. He despised episodic plots because he said a plot proper ordering, its dramatic unity, makes it whole and complete. Next question is, what are the quantitative parts, sections or divisions of tragedy? Friends, the quantitative parts of tragedy are prologue, episode, exort, and choral song. Next question is, what is the function of tragedy, or what are two major emotions of tragedy? Friends, the function of tragedy is to arouse the emotions of pity and fear. Next question is, what is a tragic hero? Friends, it is a central character of a play depicted as a noble figure who experiences a tragic downfall, in which a pity is aroused by undeserved misfortune and fear is aroused by the misfortune of men like ourselves. Next question is, how are pity and fear aroused? A tragic hero must be good but not perfect. He has some error in judgment, as a result of which he moves from happiness to misery. Next question is, what is Deus Ex Machina? Literally, this Latin phrase means God in the machine. This phrase refers to an artificial device that used to indicate a change of scene. Later, this phrase came to mean an artificial device employed by any dramatist at some critical juncture and the plot to resolve the issue. Next question is, what are the kinds of tragedy? Friends, there are four kinds of tragedy. Tragedy of plot or complex tragedy, tragedy of suffering, tragedy of character, and tragedy of spectacle. Next question is, how does an epic differ from a tragedy? Friends, an epic differs from a tragedy both in the length of composition and in the meter used. Tragedy conveys all this by means of action, but the epic poetry does so this by means of language alone. Next question is, why does Aristotle consider tragedy to be a higher form of art than the epic? Friends, Aristotle considers tragedy to be a higher form of art than the epic because of music and spectacle, which are absent in epic, and which contribute to the effect besides the other four constituents present in the tragedy. Next question is, what are the dramatic unities? Friends, dramatic unities are the principles of dramatic structures relating to action, time, and place. Aristotle described the three dramatic unities, which are unity of place, unity of time, and the unity of action. Next question is, what is the unity of time? The unity of time demands that the action of a tragedy should remain confined with 24 hours. Next question is, what is unity of place? Friends, the unity of place demands that the action of a place should occur in a single place. Next question is, what is an epic? Friends, an epic or a heroic poem is a representation of a heroic action in the most elegant style in which the mind is inspired with a desire to be worthy. Next question is, what is testament? Friends, a testament is a choral song without anapaest or trochees. In a Greek tragedy, it is a tertiary song composed of strophes and antistrophes performed by a chorus in the orchestra. Next question is, what does Aristotle mean by imitation? Friends, according to Aristotle, imitation is an act of imaginative creation by which the poet, drawing his material from phenomenal world, makes something new out of it. Next question is, what is hamartia or tragic flaw? Friends, it is the error in judgment or miscalculation as a result of which the tragic hero moves from happiness to misery. Next question is, what are the major elements of a tragedy? Friends, there are 6 elements of a tragedy. plots, character, thoughts, spectacle, music, and diction. Spectacle are the major elements of a tragedy. Next question is, what is an epic? How does Aristotle define epic? What does Aristotle mean by epic? Friends, Aristotle defines epic as a kind of poetic imitation which is narrative in form and which employs a single meter. Next question is, what according to Aristotle is common feature of all art? Friends, imitation is the common principles of all the fine arts. Next question is, what is the most important element of a tragedy? Friends, plot is the lifeblood soul of a tragedy or most important in a tragedy. Next question is, what are the three unities? Friends, the three unities are the unity of time, unity of place, and unity of action. Next question is, what is according to Aristotle the best form of discovery? Friends, the discovery that grows out of the situations themselves is the best form of discovery. Next question is, what is hymn? Friends, a hymn is a song in praise of gods or heroes expressing religious emotion. It's something resembling this as a speech, essay, or a book in praise of someone or something. Next question is, what is catharsis? Friends, the term catharsis means purgation or purification or clarification. It's the purification of the emotions such as pity and fear primarily through the arts. So friends, in this video we have discussed all important questions related to poetics. Like and share the video. Stay tuned for the next video. Stay blessed. Keep watching. Allah Hafiz.